let me ask you about love. What were some of the challenges? What were some of the lessons about love, about life that you learned from coming out as gay?
In many ways, it goes back to the stories. I think this is one of the reasons I became so interested in stories and in their power. Because I grew up in a small Israeli town in the 1980s, early 1990s, which was very homophobic. And I basically embraced it. I breathed it. Because you could hardly even think differently. So you had these two powerful stories around. One, that God hates gay people and that he will punish them if they for who they are or for what they do. Secondly, that it's not God, it's nature, that there is something diseased or sick about it. And these people, maybe they're not sinners, but they are sick, they are defective. And nobody wanted to identify with such a thing. If your options, okay, you can be a sinner, you can be a defect, but what do you want? No good options there. And it took me many years, till I was 21, to come to terms with it. And one of the things, I learned two things. First, about the amazing capacity of the human mind for denial and delusion. That an algorithm could have told me that I'm gay when I was like 14 or 15. Mm-hmm. Like if there is a good-looking guy and girl walking, I would immediately focus on the guy. Mm-hmm. But I didn't connect the dots. Like I could not understand what was happening inside my own brain and my own mind and my own body. It took me a long time to realize, you're just gay.
So that speaks to the power of social convention versus individual thought.
This is the power of self-delusion. That, it's not that I knew I was gay and was hiding it. I was hiding it from myself successfully. That I don't understand how it is possible. Looking back, I don't understand how it is possible. But I know it is possible. I knew and didn't know at the same time. And then the other big lesson is the power of the stories, of the social conventions. Because the stories were not true. They did not make sense even on their own terms. Even if you accept the basic religious framework of the world, that there is a good God that created everything and controls everything. Why would a good God punish people for love? I understand why a good God would punish people for violence, for hatred, for cruelty, but why would God punish people for love? Especially when he created them that way. So even if you accept the religious framework of the world, obviously the story that God hates gay people, it comes not from God, but from some humans who invented this story. They take their own hatred. This is something humans do all the time. They hate somebody, and they say, no, I don't hate them. God hates them. They throw their own hatred on God. And then if you think about the scientific framework that said that, gays, they are against nature, they are against the laws of nature, they are, and so forth. Science tells us nothing can exist against the laws of nature. Things that go against the laws of nature just don't exist. There is a law of nature that you can't move faster than the speed of light. Now, you don't have this minority of people who break the laws of nature by going faster than the speed of light. And then nature comes, that's bad. You shouldn't do that. That's not how nature works. If something goes against the laws of nature, it just can't exist. The fact that gay people exist, and not just people, you see homosexuality among many, many mammals and birds and other animals. It exists because it is in line with the laws of nature. The idea that this is sick, that this is whatever, it comes not from nature, it comes from the human imagination. Some people who, for whatever reasons, hated gay people, they said, they go against nature. But this is a story created by people. This is not the laws of nature. And this taught me that so many of the things that we think are natural or eternal or divine. No, they're just human stories. But these human stories are often the most powerful forces in the world.
So, what did you learn from your just a personal struggle of journey through the social conventions to find one of the things that makes life awesome, which is love? So, like, what it takes to kind of strip away the self delusion and the pressures of social convention to wake up.
It takes a lot of work, a lot of courage, and a lot of help from other people. It's this kind of, again, heroic idea that I can do it all by myself. It doesn't work. Certainly with love, you need at least one more person. And I'm very happy that I found Itzik. We lived in the same small Israeli town. We lived on two adjacent streets for years, probably went to school on the same bus for years without really encountering each other. In the end, we met on one of the first dating sites on the internet for gay people in Israel in 2002.
You're saying the internet works?
Yes, and I said
For
a lot
love.
of bad things or dangers about technology and the internet. There are also, of course, good things. And this is not an accident. You have two kinds of minorities in history. You have minorities which are a cohesive group, like Jews. That yes, you're being born Jewish in, say, Germany or Russia or whatever. You're born in a small community, but as a Jewish boy, you're born to a Jewish family. You have Jewish parents, you have Jewish siblings, you are in a Jewish neighborhood, you have Jewish friends. So these kinds of minorities, they could always come together and help each other throughout history. There are another type of minority, like gay people or more broadly LGBTQ people, that as a gay boy, you're usually not born to a gay family with gay parents and gay siblings and in a gay neighborhood. So usually you find yourself completely alone. For most of history, one of the biggest problems for the gay community was that there was no community. How do you find one another? And the internet was a wonderful thing in this respect because it made it very easy for these kinds of diffuse communities or diffuse minorities to find each other. So me and Itzik, even though we rode the same bus together to school for years, we didn't meet in the physical world, we met online. Because again, in the physical world, you don't want to identify in a Israeli town in the 1980s, you ride the bus, you don't want to say, hey, I'm gay. Is there anybody else gay here? That's not a good idea. But on the internet, we could find each other.
There's another lesson in there that maybe sometimes the thing you're looking for is right under your nose.
Yeah, a very old lesson and a very true lesson in many ways. So you need help from other people to realize the truth about yourself. So of course, in love, you cannot just love abstractly. There is another person there. You need to find them. But also, we were one of the first generations who enjoyed the benefits of gay liberation, of the very difficult struggles of people who are much braver than us in the 1980s, 1970s, 1960s, who dared to question social conventions, to struggle at sometimes a terrible price. And we benefited from it. And more broadly, we spoke earlier about the feminist movement. There would have been no gay liberation without the feminist movement. We also owe them for starting to change the gender structure of the world. And this is always true. You can never do it just by yourself. Also, I look at my journey in meditation. I could not have found the idea of going to meditation retreat, okay. But I couldn't discover meditation I couldn't develop the meditation technique by myself. Somebody had to teach me this way of how to look inside yourself. And it's also a very important lesson that you can't do it just by yourself. That this fantasy of complete autonomy, of complete self-sufficiency, it doesn't work. You hear, it tends to be a very kind of male macho fantasy. I don't need anybody. I can be so strong and so brave that I'll do everything by myself. It never works.
You need a friends, you need a mentor, you need the very thing that makes us human is other humans.
Absolutely.